In this video, I'm going to be bringing you guys more tips for Dragonwilds. I'm having a blast with this game and I'm learning a lot along the way. Some of these tips you may know, some of them you may not. And there's some pretty good ones here that's going to optimize your playtime, optimize your crafting, farming, and everything you do in the game. So let's get straight into it. If you put a lumber storage next to your sawmill, as you can see, my sawmill is producing. Look over here, we have 26 and 2. I'm going to back up here so I don't accidentally pick it up. You see how my inventory is completely empty from lumber. This thing has completed one of its cycles. We'll let it complete another one here. Boom, just completed another one. If we look in here, this is now 30 and 2. So if you have a lumber storage and you put it right next to where the lumber is going to pop out, it pops out right here on the right side by the saw blade. The lumber will automatically deposit into lumber storage. This is an easy way. I am so happy that I figured this out because it's such an easy way for them to implement, storage systems like this. It seems like they do, and I think it's a brilliant thing. When building a base, your main hub, the main base, you want to build big, you want to build efficient, you want to have a base that's all about crafting, all about, storing as much stuff as possible. You're going to want to build it in Bramblemead Valley. The reason being is this is the lowest tier enemies, and it's just going to be that much easier when crafting, when going back to a hub to recoup before you get on your next vault, your next boss, whatever it may be. So just build your base over here in Bramblemead Valley. It's a super chill spot, not a lot going on. There are a couple rats, a couple goblins. You will get raided every once in a while. Not that big of a deal. But if you start building over here in the fractured plains and all these other zones further up, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you, and the raids are going to scale to that zone. And this is where your hub should be. As you guys can see, my base is, super simple, but we are going to be making a video pretty soon here. I'm going to be building a massive base here, and I'm going to be building it for efficiency. So I recommend just building in Bramblemead Valley. Now, the reason why this isn't that big of a deal is you could build teleporters indefinitely. There is not a set number of teleporters you can have. And the cool thing about it is, as you guys can see, I have a teleporter right here at my base. I can go into my build menu. I can go to edit. I can destroy it. I'm going to grab all my materials. And as I'm out and about, I could simply place the lodestone, the teleporter once again, and teleport. So what you could do is carry the materials with you, go into a zone, place a teleporter, destroy it. As you're running around, and you get further into a zone, you're like, oh, you know what? I want my teleporter to be here now. Build the teleporter there. And that's an easy way to progress. I also recommend you building teleporters in front of all vaults. And there's going to be a reason for that. And that's going to be in our next tip. Now, if you guys checked out my last tips video, I went over the concept of being able to reloot chests after a few in-game days. Now, whether that's your guys sleeping or just day cycles, completely change, you guys will notice that these chests will reappear. Now, the reason why I want to focus on these chests, this can give you a good indication for this next tip that we're about to do. As you guys know, vaults are very important in this game. It gives you vault cores, it gives you vault shards, XP boost, potions, different recipes you can learn, and just loot overall. Some of these vaults will also give you special material like granite, copper, and different kinds of ores that make it easier to farm. What I like to do is go hit up all these vaults. I'll put a teleporter right in front of each of these vaults, the ones that I've hit up before. And as the day cycle passes, I come over here to this chest and I'm like, okay, this chest reset. Since I know this chest resets, I'm going to take everything out of the chest. So now the chest is empty. And that's going to give me an indication that I could teleport to these vaults and go and loot them, take all the ore, mine all the ore, and none of the enemies are going to spawn. The enemies will eventually spawn, but currently, if you hit it early enough in the day cycle, you're going to be able to get into the vault, loot everything that you can, mine everything that you can without the enemies appearing. The reason why, again, I talk about these chests is my chest is an indication that the vault has reset. Instead of teleporting over to the vault, going over to the vault and being like, okay, it's open. Oh no, it hasn't reset, and wasting time. I just go over to this chest. If this chest is reset, that means each of my vaults have reset, and I take a little bit of time and I teleport to each vault and I collect the cores, I collect the shards, and this is a very, very simple way to farm vault cores and vault shards. For this tip, it's completely preference, but if you guys ever get annoyed of, getting attacked, the dragon coming after you and things like that, as you can see, my base is right here in this location. If you actually build your base over here on the other side of this bridge in this area by Temple Woods, the dragon will no longer attack you, as well as you will no longer get attacks. This is basically the starting area, the tutorial area. So this is a zone where the dragon will not fly over. Is it that important to build your base over here or not? Not necessarily, but if you guys get annoyed by the dragon while you're crafting, building, just hanging out, in your hub, your main base, then you can build your base over here on the other side of this bridge. So my last video, we went over the staff, and as you guys indicated, it was my first time using the staff, and I absolutely loved it. I was blown away with how versatile it was, and I wasn't even using mage armor. The staff is amazing. In my tutorial, I indicated that some staffs are different, but this one you can use the fire rune as well as the air rune. But you can actually hotkey these onto your bar. So let's take this off. So while you're running around, you can just hit 4 and you can hit 6. So as long as your staff's out, you can hit 4 and 6 and you're going to automatically switch to that specific element. So just equip your staff. We're using fire. Boom. We're using air. Boom. You know what I mean? Just in case you burn an enemy and you're like, oh, I don't want to burn him anymore. I want to switch and, put him out with this air here. So the next thing is, you guys may have noticed that on the store page and on the page for the game overall, there was early access rewards. There was special items that we could get, the early adopters recipe. This gives us the Pioneer Scarf, the Pioneer Tapestry, Pioneer Cape, as well as 2 pieces of music from the game, as long as you bought the game in early access. So if you guys are like me, you may have downloaded the game, you started playing it, and you're like, oh, I don't have my early access rewards. Well, the reason being is if you go into settings here, and if we go to updates, and if we go to legal, you're going to scroll down and you're going to see update EOS settings. So if we update this and you continue with Epic Games, as you can see here, you continue with your Epic Games, you're going to have to connect it to Epic Games if you have an Epic Games account, but this is the only way you're going to get the early access rewards. This cape too, I think, in my opinion, this cape's pretty cool looking cape. Now, whether you're a veteran of survival titles or you're new to the genre overall, this next tip is going to be pretty simple and it's going to seem pretty straightforward, but in this game more so, in RuneScape Dragonwilds more so, is this game implement this a little bit more. Now you guys are going to understand what I'm talking about, and this is the idea of taking it really, really slow. Now, I know you get your quest from the wizards over here in this tower. You get your quest from him, and he wants to keep having you push and push and push through to these new zones. Like the Whispering Swamp is a zone that you go into, you do one quest and you leave immediately, and he wants you to go to the Fractured Plains. Well, there's something that happens in the Fractured Plains. I'm not going to give it away, but early on, it's going to be too much to handle. So what I recommend you doing is taking it as slow as possible. Now, again, this might seem super simple, but there are so many materials. Like in the swamps, you're going to need swamp tar, and you're going to need a lot of it. Now, at first, I didn't collect a lot of these. I didn't collect as much as I needed, and I had to go back. Beautiful thing is, just like we talked about before, you can build lodestones as much as you want. So pop lodestones down in every zone. Heck, you can even pop them down in different places in the zones. So that way you can farm materials a lot easier. And again, like I've done before in my last tutorial, I always put these indications down, locating specific materials, minerals, and different resources that are versatile for your progression. Now, when you go to these zones, you're going to be getting different materials, like I said, that you're going to need later on. So like this material, you collect pretty early on. But in order for you to then get different tiered items, we're going to show you right here. If we go to the blacksmith, there's all these new tiered items that are level 3 and different things like that. All these armors here, as you can see, we have some armors here. What do I need? I need hard leather. Well, hard leather is a tier 3 item. But in order to make hard leather, you need tier 2 materials and leather to then make hard leather. And when you collect these items, throw it into any of the crafting machines. It's going to produce a new item and you're going to unlock new recipes. So collect as many materials as you can, throw it into whatever crafting station it is used for, and you're going to be able to unlock so many more recipes at a faster rate. I hope any of these tips and tricks helped you guys out. Again, I appreciate every single one of you guys. We recently passed 7,000 subscribers. You guys are absolutely amazing. I'm going to have a blast with this title. If you enjoyed the video, all I ask of you is to drop a like on it, as it helps me and the channel grow. That's the best way for the channel to grow and for these videos to get seen by more people. Let me know what you're thinking of Dragonwilds down below. Let me know any advanced tips or tricks you guys have figured out. And as always, stay happy, stay hyped, and have a beautiful day.